humblest of regards to the fellow members of the Alpha branch of the Utopia. And now, commencing video.
Hello everyone, my name is the one and only Silverreploid Xiaoli. How are you guys doing on YouTube? That's right, the Silverreploid / Inkling coming at you live looking fresh in the flesh on the net, stream or non-stream, and welcome back everyone to another reaction video. First things first, hope you guys are having a very blessed and safe Monday thus far, and let's just jump right into our first upload for today, which is another reaction to one of the explanatory SCP animations. The one that we're going to look at this week is SCP-096, the Shy Guy. Huh, that's pretty new, considering that based on the fact that Shy Guy originated from Mario series, and now here we are talking about the SCP edition. I wonder what this one would entail. I don't know if it's going to correlate with the Shy Guy from the Mario series, I don't know, but either way guys, we're here to look at that today. Before we start the reaction guys, for those who are new to the channel, thank you all very much as always for tuning in, and of course giving the channel a very excellent glimpse. Your everlasting love and support are greatly appreciated by yours truly. Please do not hesitate to like this video if you enjoyed, leave your comments down below, and of course subscribe for more with the notifications activated. Also, the giveaway series is still transpiring, so if you are lucky enough to become my 29,500 subscriber for the channel, even though we're on the road to 30k, you'll receive this as a reward. Details provided in the comment section pinned. Make sure you also take this time for you to subscribe to SCP Explains for more of their explanatory animations. As always guys, I'm going to add the channel in the usual areas: DCO, description, comments, and outro. With that being said guys, let's go ahead and make this video. We shall see how it goes, and later on will be the reaction to something special, which I'll do that later on. So with that being said, let's check out the Shy Guy from SCP. Rolling clip now.
When an anomaly is first detected by an SCP Foundation field agent, it's up to the Foundation's mobile task forces to tag and bag the impossible entities before they can do any more harm.
Dang.
Sometimes these retrievals are uneventful, other times not so much.
Really?
Especially when they're dealing with brutal forces of nature like SCP-096. Also known as the Shy Guy, a creature that, from the very first interaction with the Foundation, had a reputation for being dangerous and needed to be feared. A series of vague sightings and mysterious disappearances up in the frosty mountains of the Yukon first sparked the Foundation's interest. When they were certain that they had an anomaly on their hands, two retrieval teams, Zulu 9A and Zulu 9B, were
why the heck are they
dispatched
smiling
secure
to
and
catch the
contain
entity?
Zulu 9A
That's the real
took lead in
question.
a heavy-duty chopper, equipped with 50 caliber GAU-19 heavy machine guns, and carrying an AT-4 anti-tank launcher. They were prepared for anything, or so they thought, as they established a visual on SCP-096 while 2 clicks away from the target. They couldn't get a clear line of
Is that
sight
him?
on the creature, but it appeared to be stationary, docile,
Or it?
and was making no attempt to flee. Piece of cake, right? Little did they know that SCP-096 was just looking away from them. If it was facing towards them, it'd be a whole different horror story, as Zulu 9A were about to find out. The team landed their helicopter next to the creature and were shocked to see that it was completely naked, in spite of the sub-zero temperatures all around them. The creature was unnaturally thin, as though it had been starved for weeks, with bone-white skin and unnaturally long limbs. The team guessed that the creature's arms must have been at least 1.5 meters long, but its docile nature and insubstantial body mass gave the impression that it wouldn't prove too difficult to contain. That is, until they saw its face. Zulu 9A's captain was the lone survivor of the incident, as he was lucky enough to be looking away when the creature turned towards his team. The rest of the squad ended up staring eye to eye with SCP-096, and from that moment on, wasn't docile anymore. The creature began to whimper, then cry, then sob uncontrollably in a way that sounded eerily human. This sudden change in temperament startled the rest of Zulu 9A, and they opened fire on the creature. Under the hail of gunfire, SCP-096 entered a murderous frenzy and began tearing into the hapless squad of soldiers. While its flesh and organs did seem to take damage as a result of the barrage of 50 caliber rounds from the helicopter-mounted machine guns, its skeletal structure remained intact, and it continued its onslaught, tearing the team limb from limb, even after they'd blown practically all the flesh from the creature.
Don't waste that
The
Oh
AT-4
my
anti-tank
god.
launcher proved equally ineffective at stopping SCP-096 while it was in attack mode, and it was only after slaughtering the entire team that it returned to its docile state. Nobody knows exactly what the creature did to Zulu 9A after the gunfire started. but no trace of the team was left behind. Zulu 9B touched down soon after, and with a grave warning from the captain not to look at the creature's face, they were finally able to subdue it. A bag was placed over SCP-096's
Another
face,
entity
which seemed to soothe it enough to move it to
that
a nearby
has
Foundation facility. Little did they know,
frenzy traits
it just
whenever a
contained one of
human
the
being looks at
deadliest
him.
SCPs of all time. And while it may have been under lock and key for now, it seemed inevitable that it would get out and cause more violence and chaos. Research and
More
containment
than already
procedures
had,
for the
yeah.
SCP-096 were put under the command of Dr. Dan, a senior researcher at the site. It was his job to find out exactly what this being was capable of. And the more he tested, the more he realized that they were dealing with something truly terrifying. Disposable D-Class personnel were used to figure out exactly what it was that caused the creature to enter its attack mode, just as it had during the initial retrieval mission. SCP-096 went berserk when any of the attending personnel saw its face. In this stage, it would enter a period of considerable and unstoppable distress for 1 to 2 minutes, covering its face and wailing loudly. When the period of distress ended, the creature would mercilessly slaughter every D-Class that had seen its face, and just like with Zulu 9A, no trace of their bodies would
It's like
be left behind.
it's like the Shy Guy
Dr.
undergoes
Dan was horrified and
emotional
intrigued by
swings,
this
like
phenomenon. The creature killed anyone that saw its
moody
face
swings,
directly.
like mood
Could the
swings,
same be said for
etc.
indirect depictions of
Emotional
the creature's
overflow.
face, such as images and videos? Dr. Dan was desperate to find out. More D-Class personnel were brought in to test this, to frightening results. Dr. Dan found that the creature did indeed still enter attack mode when people saw pictures and videos of SCP-096's face. The creature seemed to have an innate sense of when people were viewing these representations, even when it should have had no conceivable way of knowing. It didn't matter how far away or how many barriers were in place between the viewer and the creature, the attack mode would still activate. And once it did, it seemed as though nothing could stop the creature from hunting down the one who saw its face. With all of this new data, special containment procedures were devised to keep the creature safely under lock and key. Its cell was a 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter airtight steel cube, fitted with advanced pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure that SCP-096 remained in its cell without risking anyone having visual contact with the creature's face. All cameras and video equipment were strictly forbidden, and weekly checks for any cracks or holes in the containment cell were mandatory. Of course, none of this would stop the creature if anyone somehow saw its face. In order to solve that little problem, Dr. Dan would need to continue his research. To find a method of subverting the creature's
It's like
deadly
Dr. Dan is
plans,
really
they
obsessed
needed to know
with the Shy
exactly
Guy.
what they were dealing with. But how could they, when even a glance at a photo or video of the being meant certain death? A potential solution was proposed, creating an artistic representation of the creature's face, something that hadn't yet been attempted. But how would they achieve such a feat?
Representation of the
They'd
creature's
procure a
face.
D-Class prisoner with some artistic talent, and they found one who had been a tattoo artist before becoming a Foundation guinea pig.
Huh.
Dr. Dan formulated an
talented
ingenious
subject.
plan for keeping this D-Class alive for long enough to accurately draw an image of SCP-096's face. He would be placed in a bathysphere diving bell several kilometers underwater and tens of kilometers away from the containment cell where the SCP was being held. The D-Class was made to look at a photograph of the creature's face and then replicate that image in a pencil sketch. Dr. Dan first confirmed that the creature's attack mode is only activated by the creature's face, by having the D-Class look at a series of photos of the SCP's body parts, one by one, finally finishing with its face. The D-Class began drawing and even remarked on how creepy the SCP's facial features were, despite not knowing the deadly context. Meanwhile, back in its containment cell, SCP-096 sensed someone viewing its face and entered its inconsolable crying state, followed by its attack mode. It broke out of containment easily and began making a beeline for the D-Class, traversing the miles
Run
between
for
it
it!
and its
Run!
prey.
Run!
The D-Class didn't know it, as he locked the finished drawing into a separate, autonomous submersible, but he was already dead. As the drawing made its way up to a researcher on the surface, SCP-096 dived into the water and started swimming down towards the artist. Minutes later, the bathysphere was breached, and the D-Class was torn to shreds. SCP-096 was recaptured without issue by Surface Recovery Team Foxtrot 303A, and further testing on the drawing showed that artistic representations of SCP-096's face were in fact harmless. From this experience, we now know that the creature has a gaunt face with totally white eyes, possibly indicating blindness and a grossly extended jaw.
Oh
Nevertheless,
my
Dr. Dan was
God.
adamant that SCP-096 was too dangerous to be left alive, and requested permission from the upper echelons of the Foundation to terminate the creature by any means necessary. However, the doctor's request would fall on deaf ears.
It could get rather strenuous for the soldiers,
It all
but
started with a seemingly innocent image. While it's now been redacted for your safety, the black speck inside the yellow circle was once a minuscule image of SCP-096.
oh, it must be a
taken
very
unknowingly
gory-like
in the 1990s by a semi-professional mountaineer.
as he recommended.
One
That's
day
it.
they were looking at
You know.
old photographs when his eyes passed over the tiny speck without even noticing that he had seen anything. But SCP-096 noticed and began entering its attack mode.
Uh-oh.
It tore through its steel containment unit like tissue paper, causing the release of a nerve agent that killed a number of attending Foundation staff. The monster then fled the base and began pursuing its prey, with Mobile Task Force Tau-1 in hot pursuit. Dr. Alexei, who was helping to manage the site where the SCP was contained, was in dismay over the situation. Dr. Dan was out of the country at the time, trying to discover more about the creature's origins. However, he did leave the Mobile Task Force with a new secret weapon against the rampaging Shy Guy: Project Scramble. Scramble were state-of-the-art goggles featuring a new technology created by Dr. Dan, which, using artistic renditions of 096's facial features, could detect and scramble the features of SCP-096 into an unrecognizable form, preventing the normally deadly effect of gazing upon its face.
So
In
they
theory,
basically
this
developed
would allow
visors to
MTF
prevent
Tau-1
themselves from
engage
having to
safely
see
with 096 once
the
its
Shy
prey had
Guy.
been eliminated and bring it back into containment. But disaster struck on two fronts. First, the prey in question was located in the population center, creating the potential for a huge loss of life. And the second bigger problem was that the scramble technology didn't work, as stray pixels of the creature's face would reach the eyes of the task force before the internal microprocessor had time to scramble them. The mission turned into a death sentence, as SCP-096 slaughtered almost the entire task force, as well as a number of civilians in town, including an infant and its entire family. It was a monumental disaster, made even worse by a final revelation. Dr. Dan and Dr. Alexei had themselves facilitated the entire containment breach and allowed the resulting massacre to happen, with Dr. Dan hoping it would be enough motivation for Foundation Command to greenlight his research into destroying the creature. Anything that would give him the opportunity to kill this thing would be worth the bloodshed. His
For
plan
them,
worked,
yeah.
and the SCP Foundation saw it his way, approving his request to neutralize SCP-096. However, success comes at a cost for Dr. Dan. Once he figures out a way to finally kill the creature, though done in his line of duty, he himself will be terminated by the Foundation for his crimes against humanity. But considering how much damage SCP-096 is capable of causing if it ever got to a major population center, or even worse, was ever caught on camera and broadcast to a worldwide audience, the Doctor himself would likely deem his own death a justifiable cost. To this day, the Foundation is researching ways to kill the creature, and they're still looking for their silver bullet. And the pressure is on. They hadn't known about the seemingly innocent picture that sparked the last containment breach, the one taken decades ago, in which the Shy Guy had only occupied 4 tiny pixels. 4 tiny pixels that resulted in multiple innocent lives lost. So be careful where you look, because who knows how many other photos of the creature are lurking out there. Photos with an innocent dot in the background. Your eyes glance over it, not even noticing the little blip, until you hear a distant wailing that seems to be getting closer and closer and closer, and then it's already too late.
Why tell me about that now when I don't think, God forbid, that there's something like that, some entity like that in our town or anywhere else, because it's literally a wrap. And here's my theory, the thing regarding the containment. Now, Dr. Dan, based on the analysis, based on the research that he did for SCP-096, the Shy Guy, it was like, in my opinion, is that he was like obsessed with the SCP containment. Like, he was interested in the specimen, like, based on its traits and how it behaves when, of course, humans like look into his eyesight and everything, and how he like freaks out, which is also a crazier trait. Now, me comparing Shy Guy, I compare it with the cordial and the heinous type. For cordial, the one from the Mario series. For heinous, the one in this series, considering how behavioral traits it becomes when it comes into contact with the humans in terms of eyesight, and he goes like berserk, but at the same time though he gets like an emotional overflow that ensues. Now my thing is this: if Dr. Dan is so obsessed with him, why bring him to the containment center when he was thinking about killing the guy? Like, let him remain in his habitat, you know? Like, at the same time though, considering that it might be a threat to humankind, considering that it may terrorize the entire city based on how the Shy Guy behaves when people look into him in his eyesight and he goes berserk. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. But either way, that right there was the SCP analysis for SCP-096, the Shy Guy, my reaction to it as a matter of fact. I hope you guys enjoyed reacting to the video to the fullest, pardon the phone ringing, by the way. If you like this video, as always guys, smack the like button, leave your comments down below, and of course please subscribe for more notifications activated, and make sure you also subscribe to SCP Explained for more explanatory animations. As always guys, I'm going to add the channel in the usual areas: DCO, description, comments, and outro. And guys, my social media, Twitch, and my song list are provided in the description of the video. If you also wish to commission a song made by yours truly that you can use for your content, etc., please do not hesitate to let me know via social media, and we'll go from there for I do song commissions. And with that being said guys, this is me signing off for now. Survey Junkie. Love you guys very much. Stay fresh in the flesh and off the hook. On behalf of the Utopia, I will catch every single one of you in the next video. If you love music, and if you would like to partake in supporting my channel by purchasing music, please refer to my song list down below. Hey guys, Silverreploid here. I want to thank all of you for watching this video. Please smash on the like button, subscribe for more content if you're new, and please turn on the push notifications. And also, please make sure you check out my other videos or any video on display and show tons of love and support for not only me, but to those who are also involved. Have a great one, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!